Taylor Sheridan's new action movie with 1923 star would be more exciting if it was ending a 4-year streak. I'm excited that Taylor Sheridan is collaborating with 1923 star Brandon Sklenar for a movie called Fast. But I'm disappointed with one detail about the project. Sheridan started in Hollywood as an actor before realizing that he preferred working behind the scenes. This led to him writing several movies from 2011 onwards, and even directing a few. Taylor Sheridan wrote acclaimed movies like Sicario, Hell or High Water, and Wind River, also directing the latter. However, he is perhaps best known for creating the Yellowstone franchise, which consists of many shows. Taylor Sheridan's best shows include Yellowstone and its spin-offs, 1883 and 1923, as well as series like Tulsa King and Mayor of Kingstown. All of these series have been massively successful and have helped to turn Sheridan into one of the most acclaimed writers in Hollywood. While he mostly focuses on TV shows nowadays, Sheridan will produce the upcoming movie Fast, which is based on a script that he wrote. This is exciting, but I wish Sheridan was directing Fast rather than just producing it. Fast is not a new project for Sheridan, as he wrote the script for the action movie in the mid-2010s. He was actually once attached to direct the film, and Chris Pratt was cast in the lead role. This would have been an exciting team-up, but the project never gained much momentum at Warner Bros., since its $70 million budget was on the higher side. After being stuck in development hell for years, it was announced that Sheridan would no longer direct Fast in 2019, with the accountant director Gavin O'Connor set to replace him. Obviously, the project still didn't move forward with O'Connor on board. Therefore, in the last few years, it wouldn't have been unreasonable to assume that the project was officially dead. However, it has now been announced that Fast has been put on the fast track by Warner Bros. And has been given an April 23, 2027 release date. This recent update means that production on Fast will begin very soon. The action movie will now be directed by Ben Richardson, who has helmed several episodes of 1923. Since he has worked with Sheridan before, it's not surprising that Richardson will make his feature film debut with Fast. I'm sure Richardson is a great choice to direct the action movie. But I can't help but be disappointed that Sheridan has chosen not to helm the project. Sheridan has only directed 3 movies in his career, which is surprising since he is now such a popular name in the industry. Throughout his career, Sheridan has directed 2011's Vile, 2017's Wind River, and 2021's Those Who Wish Me Dead. While not all of his directorial efforts have received outstanding reviews, it is clear that Sheridan is a skilled filmmaker. This is especially evident with Wind River, which has an impressive 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, via Rotten Tomatoes. It is clear that Sheridan is very busy with his growing library of shows, but it's still disappointing that he hasn't directed a film since 2021. Hopefully Sheridan will return to the director's chair sooner rather than later. According to the synopsis for Fast, Sklenar's character will be a former Special Forces commando who is tasked with leading a strike team to take down CIA-protected drug dealers in his town. Based on this brief description, it sounds like Fast could be a thrilling action movie. However, I would be much more excited about the project if Sheridan was attached as a director. This isn't to say that Richardson won't do a great job, but I desperately want to see Sheridan direct another film. As a writer and producer, I'm sure Sheridan will still have a lot of influence over the project. Additionally, since it is Richardson's first feature film, Sheridan will likely help him a lot during filming. This is a good thing, but it's obviously still different from Sheridan directing Fast himself. In the ever-expanding universe of Taylor Sheridan's rugged storytelling, a new action movie starring a standout from 1923 should be cause for major celebration. The cinematic world he's built, from Sicario to Wind River, Yellowstone to Mayor of Kingstown, has been defined by grit, moral ambiguity, and characters who often face off against insurmountable odds in the unforgiving American West. But as thrilling as his newest project sounds on paper, the anticipation might feel a little dimmer than expected. Why? Because if this movie were breaking a 4-year dry spell, Sheridan's longest creative lull in theaters, it would signal not just a return to form, but a long overdue reckoning. Imagine this. The year is 2025, and the movie industry is buzzing. Not because another superhero sequel is limping into theaters, or a surprise musical biopic is sweeping awards buzz, but because Taylor Sheridan, once hailed as the savior of modern Western storytelling, is finally back in the director's chair with an original, pulse-pounding action movie. And not just any movie, but one fronted by a breakout star from 1923, like Brandon Sklenar or Julia Schlapfer, stepping out of period costumes and into the contemporary chaos Sheridan handles so well. Now imagine that this project is Sheridan's first feature film in 4 years. That kind of hiatus would mean something. It would imply reflection, renewal, and reinvention. In reality, though Sheridan hasn't stopped working, far from it. He's been a non-stop television machine, churning out spin-offs, prequels, and prestige drama series at an industrial pace. While that's commendable, it's also meant his cinematic voice, the one that brought audiences hell or high water, and those who wish me dead, has been absent from the big screen. And that's a shame because the theatrical experience has been aching for exactly the kind of storytelling Sheridan perfected. Grounded, character-driven, and explosively real. If this upcoming action film were capping off a 4-year silence, its arrival would carry the weight of a return. Think of it. Fans wondering if Sheridan still has it. Industry insiders buzzing over a theatrical comeback. Critics sharpening their pens for what could be the next Sicario. The marketing campaign would sell that narrative, the return of Sheridan, and audiences would lean in. And let's be honest, Sheridan, known for peeling back the sun-baked layers of American conflict, doesn't do quiet returns. He'd likely drop us into a high-stakes thriller full of political paranoia, personal vendettas, and philosophical dread. Let's say the movie stars Brandon Sklenar, who played Spencer Dutton with raw charisma and haunted charm in 1923. Sklenar's transition from cowboy to contemporary soldier of fortune would mirror Sheridan's own shift back into cinematic territory. The film could follow a former Special Forces operative, played by Sklenar, who's dragged into a covert mission involving stolen weapons, double agents, and a decaying desert border town that hides more than just secrets. It wouldn't just be an action film. It'd be a character study wrapped in bullets and betrayal. Sheridan excels at that alchemy. But in our current reality, where Sheridan hasn't taken a 4-year break, the impact just isn't quite the same. His name is ever present, sure, but saturation has its drawbacks. With so many shows carrying his signature, each new project risks feeling like another gear in a well-oiled machine. The awe of Sheridan's back becomes Sheridan's still going, and even great storytelling can start to blur together. A genuine 4-year absence would have allowed space for Sheridan to retool his cinematic instincts and for the audience to miss him. Let's not forget the element of mystery that comes with a creative pause. When a filmmaker disappears for a few years, anticipation grows. Rumors swirl. Every new casting announcement, every leap still from set, becomes a breadcrumb on the trail to the main course. If Sheridan had taken a break from releasing films since 2021, the reveal of this new action movie in 2025 would feel seismic. It wouldn't just be another premiere, it would be a comeback. And creatively, That kind of distance can ignite reinvention. A 4-year absence might have inspired Sheridan to experiment, to push his boundaries. Maybe this new film wouldn't be just action. Maybe it would be a psychological thriller with action set pieces, or a noir-inspired crime epic set in modern-day Appalachia. Maybe, in stepping away from the constant churn of content, Sheridan would have found a new voice, or rediscovered his original one, sharpened by time and absence. That's not to say this new movie won't be good. With Sheridan's knack for tense dialogue and moral complexity, it could very well be another hit. But if it had been positioned as a return, a deliberate, calculated resurgence after 4 years away, it could have been great.